Good evening and welcome to ICU TV Main News. Let's take a look at the top stories making headlines. President Hichilema meets traditional leaders, calls for unity ahead of elections. ZBRAC and ZIM partner to strengthen professional growth. CCPC urges banks to address customers' complaints promptly. In international news, Landmark deals paves way for cheaper HIV protection jab. And in sports news, Copper Queens gear up for WAFCON qualifiers and World Cup dreams. Presenting the news, I am Yambemba Margaret, and now the news in details. President Hakainde Hichilema has held a special meeting with traditional leaders in Lusaka, where unity and peace ahead of the general elections took center stage. House of Chiefs Chairperson Chongo of Monze District urges the head of state not to allow tribalism and hate speech to thrive. He says traditional leaders want the country to remain peaceful, stressing that national unity must be preserved. Chief Chongo also thanks government for initiatives such as increased social cash transfer and constituents development fund, which he said are improving livelihoods in communities. Meanwhile, President Hichilema stresses that the development to strive, Zambia needs peace and unity, adding that traditional leaders should continue fostering love and harmony within their chiefdoms and across the nation.
So this, Your Royal Highness, is important. There is no small group, there is no Salaila, there is no small group called Chikundas. They all own this country. Koyas, Lambas. I emphasize this point because this is what your government has taken a particular attention. Bembas, Tongas, everybody. Chebas. And we must work together as one in unity. And unity for what? Second point, for development. Two legs. Unity of the country across the 10 provinces, 156 constituencies, 116 districts, all corners, all chiefdoms, one people. I will ask the chiefs to repeat or to answer. When I say one Zambia, we must answer one nation. One nation, one people. One Zambia? No. You should be proud of your country. I noticed that the National Anthem was being sung here and some chiefs.
The president also calls on communities to revive agriculture, encouraging people to work hard and store surplus harvest for household consumption until the next season. President Hichilema assures the traditional leaders that all 72 ethnic groups have equal ownership of Zambia, noting that no group is bigger than the other. The Zambia Institute of Public Relations and Communications and the Zambia Institute of Marketing have announced a new partnership aimed at transforming professional development to practitioners in both fields. In a high-level engagement, ZBRAC President Irene Chipidi and ZIM President Mwewabesa agreed on initiatives to enhance standards, improve efficiency, and strengthen ties between PR and marketing professionals. The partnership includes mutual recognition of members, joint enforcement of professional standards, and co-hosting continuous professional development programs. Practitioners will now be able to earn CPD points for renewing their licenses across both institutions. A memorandum of understanding is being drafted and is expected to be finalized by the end of October. Both institutions say the move marks a historic milestone that will promote collaboration, professional growth, and mutual support in advancing PR and marketing in Zambia. The Food Reserve Agency says it is making steady progress in Northwestern Province. Maize and rice deliveries are ongoing across all districts, with buying depots fully operational and farmers responding positively.
Farmers across Northwestern Province are delivering their harvest, and the Food Reserve Agency is recording every bag. The work is steady, transparent, and backed by daily reports from the ground. Here is a breakdown of the maize purchases for Northwestern Province as of Monday, 22nd September 2025. Now, here's the situation. Kasempa, 37,764 metric tons recorded, with 921 metric tons added. Solwezi, 27,135 metric tons received, with 238 metric tons added. Mwinilunga, 22,229 metric tons received, with 191 metric tons added on Monday. Kabompo, 19,612 metric tons received, with 183 metric tons added. Mufumbwe, 16,526 metric tons received, with 443 metric tons added same day. Zambezi, 3,726 metric tons received, with 85 metric tons added. Chavuma, 2,214 metric tons received, with 32 metric tons added. Paddy rice purchases, Northwestern Province. Mwinilunga, 37 metric tons received, cumulative 6,000 bags. Zambezi, 17 metric tons received, cumulative 6,400 bags. Chavuma, 20.9 metric tons received, cumulative 2,907 bags. These are not just numbers on the page. They are farmers walking away from depots with receipts in hand, knowing payment is secured. That money goes back into the households, pays school fees, and keeps families afloat in a year when drought has tested every community. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema has committed government will stand with farmers.
We are carrying out a number of interventions. These include water harvesting, the rehabilitation and construction of dams, as well as canals.
This comes as Zambia records its highest harvest on record, a development that ensures national food security and creates room for export. The Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has urged financial institutions to resolve customer complaints quickly before they escalate to the Commission. CCPC Executive Director Eunice Piri Hamamvwa made the call during a courtesy visit by Access Bank in Lusaka on September 23, 2025. Mrs. Hamamvwa stresses that banks must give customers direct access to branch managers when disputes arise, saying early intervention helps protect customers' rights and builds trust. In response, Access Bank Zambia Head of Customer Experience, Nicholas Muneku, says the bank has introduced the Fresh Desk platform, which allows clients to lodge complaints and track progress until resolution. He adds that the system has already reduced and resolved cases while staff training is ongoing to strengthen service delivery. Access Bank also thanked the Commission for its support during the recent major process. Construction of more than 10 kilometers of urban roads is in progress in Solwezi. Works include roadbed shaping, culvert installation, and pavement compaction to bituminous standards.
9 kilometers. Work on selected urban roads right here is underway in Solwezi. Machines are on the ground, engineers are supervising, and roads are taking shape. This is the rehabilitation and upgrading of the 10.19 kilometers of selected roads to bituminous standard. Now the contract is valued at 272 million kwacha, fully financed by the government of the Republic of Zambia through the National Road Agency. And so, contractor JD Con Limited is on site, as you can see. The consultant, Eliso Consulting, is monitoring progress.
It's 3.2 kilometers. Then we have got a road in Stadium, which is 2.1, as well as the fourth one, which is Faith Road, which is 1.4 kilometers. So far, the work concentration is here in Zambia Kimasa Road, which is 5.3 kilometers. And the scope of the work itself is, we have got 3 layers, which we are working on. We have got the subgrade layer, which has been done already. We have got a sub-base, which is cement stabilized layer, 150 mm. This one also has been done and is in progress. And then also we have got the crushed stone base, which is also 150 mm. And finally, we'll have the asphalt concrete, which is 40 mm. So far, I would say on Zambia-Kimasara Road, we have done about 2 kilometers of stabilized base, and we have also progressed with crushed stone base about 1 kilometer out of the 5.3 kilometers.
Crosspipe culverts at kilometer 0 plus 245 and kilometer 0 plus 740 are already in progress. Financials.
You are still watching ICU TV Main News. We now take our first set of commercials. Please stay with us for more news after this. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. To continue with the news, a 28-year-old man of Mufulira has been sentenced to 2 years and 9 months imprisonment with hard labor for stealing power cables belonging to the Mlonga Water Supply and Sanitation Company. The convict, Brian Watela, stole 22 kilograms of power cables valued at nearly 6,000 kwacha from the Mopani Copper Mines Treatment Plant on September 14, 2025. Watela was apprehended shortly after the incident was reported. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Engineer Collins Nzovu, has welcomed the sentence, describing it as a milestone in the fight against vandalism and theft, which he says continues to disrupt service delivery in the water and sanitation sector. The minister has since directed all water utilities to intensify the prosecution of such cases to deter would-be offenders and safeguard the country's critical water infrastructure. Communities in Chingola and Petauke have taken up indoor residue spraying, a frontline weapon in the fight against malaria. Health officials say the exercise involves coating walls and household surfaces with a special insecticide designed to kill mosquitoes that rest indoors. Once spread, the surfaces remain effective for several months, eliminating not just malaria vectors, but also other disease-carrying insects such as sandflies and bugs. The intervention is credited with reducing mosquito intensity and lifespan, cutting transmission rates and preventing new infections. Authorities are urging households to fully support the program, stressing that treating malaria early and preventing its spread remains key to saving lives and ultimately ending malaria. You are still watching ICU TV menus. We take a short break, and coming up next is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Vami wamwene kukupa basofu ate gift ya wedding mwewe Kabampo guy on Togway swab.
Way.
Sebo Bajita with whom I are Kumupamuso.
Ale.
They give one zo.
Basa sunu tusegelela akupobola. Nguzu ya mwanesu musanko yulagi. Mwana mujende.
Tamdori ndira honeymoon.
Honeymoon yansa ebo tuni kuja honeymoon de tebu ya kusaka ka kupange malo kumbo tuni kukara amije. Kuno mudaro lo bagamba kututaga kutinantaga mihimu lusaga. Ishindi mubwa. Kitabaga ndijite claustration bagandi sibe buya. Baga kuhema jana.
Iwe. Amanyiri munganda mwana unkira mafia ng'ombe papeni.
Nada ng'ombe muno.
Lucky. Do you know me? Do you know my wife? Have you seen my wife?
Urefu atoka ni mochari mpiayo.
Maybe I should go to the doctors.
Bambira ma doctor ti wabora hipondo tu.
Ah.
Chikaringa byani bantu nawe chakaringa byani wo. Oh.
Chachiringo kumichiringanya pamulesu ba mafuta.
Wow. I'm so impressed mura. Pesi ndari kwamba bakuti. Aya mahuta anonkira musimba. Imwe mwakasuba.
Welcome back. In international news, a new HIV prevention drug will be made available at a low cost in over 100 low-income countries within 2 years. A move expected to give millions access to the breakthrough treatment and potentially bring the world closer to ending the HIV/AIDS epidemic. The drug, called lenacapavir and administered by injection, is due to be rolled out as early as the end of this year at a cost of $28,000 per person annually. But Wednesday's announcement promises to slash that price to just $40, around 0.1% of the original cost. The lower cost version will be rolled out in 2027 across 120 low and middle income countries. Scientists say the drug stops the virus from replicating inside cells. We're still in international news. French President Emmanuel Macron experienced an unexpected delay on the streets of New York during the UN General Assembly, highlighting the high security choreography that comes with the world leader's visit. The incident occurred as he navigated the city following a major speech on international diplomacy, underscoring the bustling, often unpredictable environment surrounding global summits. Mapalo Kasama has more in this report.
French President Emmanuel Macron, while in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, found himself blocked from crossing the street when New York Police Department officers halted him to allow U.S. President Donald Trump's motorcade to pass. Rather than wait in silence, Macron is believed to have made a phone call to Trump from the sidewalk, humorously telling Trump he was waiting in the streets because everything was frozen for him.
How are you? Guess what? I'm waiting in the street because everything is frozen for you.
President Macron was trying to walk to France's diplomatic mission after delivering a speech at the UN during which he formally recognized Palestinian statehood. 30th session of the UN General Assembly, using the platform to push forward France's foreign policy priorities, including the recognition of Palestine and calls for peace in Gaza. Various heads of state from Africa and Europe are in attendance at the United Nations General Assembly, taking place from September 22nd to 30th, 2025, to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. Mapalo Kasama, reporting for ICTV News in Lusaka.
We take a short break. Please stay tuned for more news in sports.
Did you know that mental health conditions are treatable and recovery is possible? Hi, I'm Ngenia Febamoyo. I'm your host on Let's Talk Mental Health. I invite you all to this show where you freely express yourself, and together we find a solution. For more details, you can contact 0777 93 73 92, and we'll be there to help you find solutions to whatever you're going through.
Welcome back. In sports news, the Zambia women's national team is set to resume their journey in the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON qualifiers next month. They will face Namibia in a crucial two-leg tie, with the winner advancing to the WAFCON 2026 in Morocco, which doubles as a qualifier for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. The Copa Queens qualification for WAFCON 2026 is a vital step towards securing a spot in the World Cup, with 4 direct slots allocated to the WAFCON semi-finalists and 2 teams advancing to international playoffs. Coach Nora has named a 42-member provisional squad, and the team will play Namibia on October 22nd in South Africa and October 26th in Ndola. And that sports item brings us to the end of our main news today. But before we go, a quick recap on the top stories that made headlines. President Hichilema meets traditional leaders, calls for unity ahead of elections. ZIPRAC and ZIM partner to strengthen professional growth. CCPC urges banks to address customer complaints promptly. In international news, landmark deal paves way for cheaper HIV protection jab. And in sports news, Copa Queens gear up for WAFCON qualifiers and World Cup dreams. Thank you so much for watching. For more news updates, please take a look to our Facebook page at ICUTV and our website at icutv.zm.com. Good night.